It's high noon. We're at All Children's Park today. It's absolutely gorgeous day outside. I mean, blue skies, no rain clouds, sun is shining, just like it shined on this session. I've got an absolutely ridiculous session to talk about with you guys today, and then we're going to hit a ball off of our ball machine for a little bit. So, super excited to get into it today. Let's get going. Not too long after we sit down, we look down at Ace King offsuit in middle position, facing a button straddle. We're gonna be raising it up first in here. We raise up to $40. The hijack and the small blind call. So we're going three ways to a flop, which comes Jack 6-3 rainbow. The small blind checks, and in this situation, I could get behind a c-bet, I could get behind a check. Against two players here, considering the hijack still has left to go, I decided to check here, play some turns, see what the hijack's gonna do. The hijack also decides to check, so we're going three ways to a turn, which comes pretty good, all things considered. It becomes a king, so now we've got top. Small blind checks, we decide to bet 75 into this pot. The hijack calls, which is pretty good for us, and the small blind folds. So heads up to a river, which comes an offsuit 5, just kind of bricks out. We go for a nice polarizing value bet here. We go for 175, making it look like we're trying to bluff here, but ultimately just going for as much value as we can, and the hijack lets it go. So starting pretty strong, feeling confident that this is going to be a good one. This boardwalk is actually pretty short. It just connects the tennis courts and the baseball field to the park for children. So we're gonna have to get a little creative on giving you guys some scenery in where we vlog today. Also kind of like how we got creative with this hand. We look down at Jack 8 of hearts in the big blind. There is an early position limp, a middle position raise to 20, and a late position call. So we're definitely priced in here in the big blind especially. So we make the call for 20 with a suboptimal suited multi-gapper, and then the early position limper calls. So we're going four ways to a flop, which comes 7-7-5, one heart. We of course check to the raiser with two overs and a backdoor flush draw and a backdoor straight draw. And every other player in this hand checks. So we're going four ways to a turn as well, and it comes the best card that could possibly come for us. It comes a 10 of hearts. So now we've got a flush draw and a gutter with an over. So we've got a lot of equity now. We're going to turn our hand into a bluff for sure here with all our equity. We bet $40. We get one caller, the late position caller, from the pre-flop action. So we're going heads up to a river, and the river is an ace. And interestingly, the hijack checks out of turn, which makes me feel he's especially weak. I really feel like I could put the pressure on here after the hijack checks out of turn. So we go for it. We bet $100, and the hijack very quickly folds. So a little bit of exploitation in that hand from the check out of turn, but we take another small healthy pot. So this session is only going to go up from here. We've got two baseball fields here at All Children's Park. There's this one, which is the practice field, and then there's that one over there, which is the main field. And they've got the main field locked up right now, which makes sense. Don't want random people like me trudging around on it, messing it up. So we're on the practice field right now, but just imagine that I cracked a home run with this hand. So I'm gonna walk around the bases to tell you about it. We look down at 7-8 of diamonds in relatively early position. You know, we're feeling pretty good after the past couple hands with a relatively big stack, and we make a light open here to $25, and we get not exactly what we wanted. We get 5 callers. So really looking to smash this flop, as if we do, it would be super disguised. So we're going 6 ways to a flop, which comes ace, 10, 4, 2 diamonds. So, you know, we definitely have a decent bluff hand here. The small blind checks, and in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and bet $60. It's definitely a small bet, but if we get raised, I think we can definitely call and play some turns for this size. And because I have a lot of the drawing hands, I'm expecting to get called by a lot of aces and a lot of ace 10s, or, you know, maybe some 10s with some draws, because I look like I have, you know, some big aces here. So we get 2 callers. The turn is an offsuit 5, so now we pick up even more equity by picking up a gutter with a 6. So, ooh, that sun is bright. Ooh, let's walk into the outfield. So, the turn is the 5, and we are really gonna go for it here. We bet $200, and I like this play because we're really trying to like over-realize our equity here. We get one caller here to a river, and do you guys have any doubts on what this river is going to be? Of course not. We of course bink an offsuit 6 for the nut straight, and our hand is super disguised because the flush didn't come in and the straight draw, exactly what we have, looks super weird. We go all in for the rest of the hijack stack, and he thinks about it and he's tanking, and eventually he slides in the call. We table our hand and he mucks. I can only imagine he must have had something like ace 10 or some other possible 2 pair, thinking that, or really hoping that we have ace king, but we win an absolutely massive pot here, and we are just absolutely dominating this table. Taking a little break here on the bleachers to bring you the next couple series of unfortunate events over the next couple hands. We lost a couple medium-sized pots with ace king, and then ace 10, and then this one with ace jack suited that I'll tell you about. We look at an ace jack suited in the small blind over a button straddle. We raise it up to $35, and under the gun +1, 3-bets us to $100. Everybody else folds, it's back to us, and in this situation, ace jack here generally should be a 4-bet or fold, because calling out of position against the 3-bet is never really that great, but we do it anyway. So we call the 100, going heads up to a flop, which comes 2, 4, 5, a 1 spade. We check to the razor, and he heavily down bets to $50. And for this price, I don't think we can ever fold. I think we have to float here. You know, a spade is going to give us some equity. An ace or a jack is going to, you know, maybe put us in a weird spot, but give us some equity. So we call the 50. The turn is neither of any of those. It is the queen of clubs. We check. The 3-better bets 175, and we let it go pretty quickly. So got knocked down a couple, but oh boy, are we about to continue to bring it back here. About to unload the tennis ball machine so we can hit a tennis ball for a little bit. Kind of like I unloaded a massive bluff in this hand. We look down at ace jack offsuit, specifically noting the ace of diamonds here. There is a early position limp, a middle position raised 25, and you know, we've been kind of feeling it this session, so we make a isolation 3-bet to play against this player who I had determined to be relatively weak. We 3-bet up to $80 with the ace jack offsuit. Definitely kind of loose, but I feel like if I can get this player heads up, we can outplay them post flop. But that doesn't go that well, considering the small blind cold calls the 3-bet, the limper calls the 3-bet, and the razor calls my 3-bet. So we're going 4 ways in a 3-bet pot to a flop of deuce 3 6, all diamonds. So we're holding the ace of diamonds, which is a pretty solid card. It checks around to us, and we absolutely just bomb this flop. We bet $200 into 4 players with the ace of diamonds. It folds around to the original razor, and he is contemplating a call and eventually lets go of it, claiming to have pocket 8s with the 8 of diamonds. So we get that one through, feeling pretty good there. Only up from here. We're gonna unload the ball machine here, play for a little bit, and then give you our final hand of note. Out here in front of Neighbor's General Store and Ice Cream Parlor. We're getting some ice cream after our tennis. I broke away for a second to bring you our last final sweet, sweet hand of note. We looked down at pocket 10s in the big blind. Over a button straddle, we raised up to $40 and we get 2 callers. Now if we could just get a set this one time just to cap this session off as our biggest win ever. And the dealer is our best friend. He puts out a board of 10, 8, 4 rainbow. We have this whole board locked up. We check to induce some bluffs here because we have this whole board locked up. And both players check the back flop. So not exactly the result. Looks like we missed a street of value. Not the result we hoped for, but the turn is a jack. Also not a great card on this board. So we're gonna start building a pot here. We bet $60 and the hijack decides that they are just going to go all in for the rest of their short stack. They push 240 over the line. And interestingly, the button decides to call, to cold call this jam for 240. Now I've played with this button before and they chase so many draws down, and I figure they've got a draw here or some really weak hand. And if they do, I want to push them out of this pot. And if they do have a draw, I want to charge the maximum value for it. So I re-jam for their entire 800 stack total, counting the 240. And they tank for a good 2 minutes before finally, angrily, turning over king, queen, and folding it face up. River runs out of 4 and we are good with a full house. And we take an absolutely massive pot for the last hand of our session here. So that was absolutely insane. That's gonna wrap up this session. We didn't see a ton more hands after that. We did stay for about another half hour, 45 minutes after that last hand and just didn't pick anything up. But into the game for $500, out of the game for $21.80 over 4.5 hours, booking a net win. Not only the biggest win on the vlog, but the biggest win of my personal career. A win of $16.80. So we are keeping this winning streak alive, bringing you some great vlog content here. I love this location so much, I'm gonna do the outro here. I mean, we had a fantastic day. The view out here is absolutely beautiful. Lighting is beautiful. I mean, clear skies, no clouds. Perfect day to get some exercise. Played some tennis, walked around for a bit, got a little treat. That's what it's all about. Got to get out there, get some exercise where you can, get out into the world. Remember, keep your body healthy, keep your mind healthy. This is Runner Poker. Have a good one.